Rolling.
Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 237. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else the gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Chad Wallace from the Firearms Radio Network, your source for broadcasts for shooters, hunters, and all things firearms related. In this show, I think we'll be discussing silence. And don't ask me why. Tonight on the podcast, we have Tony, Rob, and Zane. So since I'm just going to flat out say I didn't do anything in firearms, you guys can take it away.
Okay, I'll go. Well, I went on the show last week, and I'm sorry, you can dock me a week's pay. Oh, wait, I don't get paid anything. But last week, I was in North Carolina trying not to kill myself too badly and put up a deer stand at my aunt's place. And then move a car for a friend. No, we did a range day. I got to shoot the Ruger precision rifle in 6.5 Freed with a Leupold first focal plane. That's a nice gun. I think I might have to get me that rifle and add it to my collection of long range shooters. And a Kimber 6.5. Ooh, that was a nice one too. But yeah, I was up there helping my aunt, and thank you, aunt. I got covered in poison freaking ivy. Now my legs and my arms are all like, itchy.
Boy.
Yeah. Here, why don't you come on down? We'll give you some poison ivy down here. We'll share the love.
No, we have poison oak here. It doesn't matter.
Poison ivy, poison oak, poison ivy, poison some crap.
Yeah, it's a plant that gives you a rash.
Yes.
And Rob probably knows all about getting rashes. So.
No, not since Bridget left me.
Okay. Zane, Tony, who's next?
I did stuff.
Yeah, I did stuff. I like that.
Whoa, okay. There you go.
Well, Tony, looks like you're up now.
Insightful statement, Zane.
Yeah, I taught a concealed weapons class. It was a private class. A whole family came in and did that. That was cool. I like doing private classes. Fun. I put a new grip on my Ruger LCR that makes it much more shootable, but completely kind of renders the gun useless for my needs. So I don't think I'll be keeping it on there. I might do a review on it, though. Who knows? And I got out and shot the rifle with the handguard I have that I'm doing a review on a little more. So I got a little more data on it. That thing's slowly coming together. What
rifle is that?
The rifle's a Colt, but I got a handguard from a company, and I'm still, trying to.
He's slow.
See if I can break it.
AR-15?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, you're a Marine? You haven't broken it yet? Come on.
It's got to be good. He didn't break it the first time out, so it must be okay.
Yeah, I literally, I set up the first time I took it out. I set up a and I'm purposely not saying the brand because it's going to be a surprise when I do the review. But I set up a notch wall, and I was literally I just shot probably 300 rounds supported and just slamming it on every single level of the notch wall up and down because I just knew I was going to be able to break the wings off that holds it in, the anti-rotational wings on the upper. But no, I was able to get it to twist a little bit, but I probably didn't torque it down to the proper specs, or they didn't actually come with proper specs, but I probably didn't torque it down enough. So.
What are we talking about here? You said it's an AR pistol?
Yeah, it's an AR. It's a handguard for an AR. It's a 15-inch handguard. So. But yeah, I tried. It still ain't broken.
That's a good thing. Tony, you always do exciting stuff.
Why, thank you. I'm glad I actually have something to say. That would have been a horrible build-up.
Oh, that would have been great.
We had our Minuteman Challenge over at Fort Dix. It was handguns at 15 yards, which was awesome. Guys came out for it. And it's funny because once you win a chip and you have a place in the championship, you can do what you want. So it was handgun. And of course, with handguns, you're going to have reloads. Well, Angelo Yacone showed up with 3 different revolvers, 2 357s and a 44. And anything that involved reloads was a New York reload. Oh, it was just awesome. So it's like, put 5 rounds in this and 5 rounds in this and 5 and he's like pow 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 pow. Picked up the other pistol, pow, 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 pow. Threw that revolver down, picked up the other revolver. It's like no pressure. Because this one was handgun, any type of handgun. You have rimfire, bring it. If you have an AR-15 pistol, bring it. Well, Angelo showed up with an AR-15 pistol and like 3 revolvers. And of course, he didn't come close to winning anything, but it was still a lot of fun. Ellen, the Ambassador Wong, actually pulled out a win with his friend Jess. Both of them showed up and proved that if you run your guns, you can win stuff because you get efficient and effective with it. And you should have seen these guys' reloads. Between the two of them, I know they've taken a lot of classes and I've seen them practice at the range. They were doing smooth tactical reloads. They were putting rounds where they need to be with Glock 19s, with the RMRs. And it was pretty cool. And we still had guys there. One dude competed with a shield in 40. I'm like, yeah, okay, dude, you know you're shooting at 15 yards with a concealed carry 40 Smith & Wesson. Bold move there, Cotton. But he'd already won his chip, too. So he didn't care. He was using what he really has at home for his self-defense to use to run the Minuteman Challenge. So I thought that was pretty cool. So if you guys want to have some fun, go ahead and pick up some targets from RU Factor Tactical. They're called IQ targets. And some Dead Man Hands training cards. Grab a timer, go out and have some fun with your friends. But and get some practice in, because what it does is add pressure that you never had before. Jay showed up. He was a first-time shooter to the event, but he had his guns before, but he'd never ran them under pressure. And we told him before, the minute that timer goes off, your brain liquefies and runs out of your ears, period. He didn't believe us. Yeah, it happened to him immediately. It just happened immediately.
If you're not used to that timer going beep, it just really messes you up.
And people are like, well, what do you mean? What does the timer have to do with it? You know people are watching you. You know you're under a time restraint that's going to be a time restraint that's going to be measured. And the minute it goes beep, his brain went.
It's kind of like a dueling tree. When you have, it's similar, even though you can do it without a timer. You have two people and, you're racing against the other guy, and it puts, the same kind of stress on you, and your mind just kind of goes, nah.
It's adding a stressor that most people don't when they train by themselves and show you little tiny groups that they've cherry picked to show you on social media. But hey, Minuteman Challenge, a lot of fun, man. I'll be posting videos of it up, especially in August, because August is NSSF, the National Sports Shooting Foundation, is named that like Sports Shooting Month. And they want us to post, trainers and I guess others to post a video of people competing for the very first time in a sports shooting situation. And between Minuteman Challenge, which Sean and I do together, and introducing people at the diversity shoots, I'm pretty much going to be posting a lot of that in the month of August.
Sweet.
What really turns up those like the dueling tree challenges and the Minuteman challenges, if you did a round limitation, if you limited the amount of ammo you could use per round.
Oh, you have a shot limitation. Anything over that, you're getting penalized per time.
Doesn't it depend on what card you draw? Like some are, you have 5 rounds. Others, it's just as many rounds in this time limit, et cetera, et cetera.
There may be some, but we don't use those mainly because it's Jersey, and we have 10 round limitations anyway. But we do, 2 shots here, 2 shots here, 2 shots here, 2 shots here, 2 shots here. All right. Any more rounds, that's a miss. You know what I mean? That's just penalized. Even if you hit where you're aiming at, you're still penalized for putting extra rounds in the target. It's about thinking and using your firearm.
Yeah, and on a dueling tree, you have a round count too, because when you run empty, the other guy's probably going to beat you while you're reloading.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unless he runs empty too.
Yeah, true.
It depends. I mean, when you're doing a dueling tree, you put your 30-round magazine in your Glock pistol, because that way there's a better chance you're not going to run out.
That's what I did last time, and I got accused of cheating.
It's like, hey, if it's not in the rules and not stated beforehand, it's perfectly fine with me.
And when it comes to guns, if you're not cheating, you're not trying hard enough.
Exactly. I love that. Man, we used to say that continually. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, time to get to the announcements. Bandwidth sponsor is our buddies at Patriot Patch Co. They have new patches for pre-order, which happen to be the Circle of Life patch and the Space Force patch. It looks like the others is sold out. Join their Patch of the Month club. Get cool patches every month. Plus, you get these like stencil cards sometimes and stickers and cool stuff like that. If you're shopping Amazon, use our affiliate link at firearmsradio.tv/Amazon. And if you want to donate to the 2A4E diversity shoot, you can go to Black Bag Resources and buy all kinds of stuff and put it in your cart. Pay for it with the code 2A4E and it'll be donated to Tony.
Hey, one of the cool things you can do is pick up one of those G.I. Tanto cold steel knives. We're trying to actually get a series of them going. We're going to label them and serialize them and put them out as limited editions to either be raffled on or names drawn or whatever, just to give you something that nobody else has. You know what I mean?
Yep, I got you. Like laser engraved the
Yep.
something on it on the blade where it's nice and black. And
Well,
Nice.
we all know people are donating to the diversity shoot because they just want to help. You know what I mean, and help the community grow. But if we can give you something back, if you're $5 or $10 Patreon or whatever, awesome. So if you
Sweet.
can win a drawing and get something to serialize because you've helped something, this it's not about you're gonna win a $3,000 freaking Bowie knife made by like some exclusive knife maker, but it's just something, a thank you, and a game of chance. You know what I mean, to win something
right. Yeah,
significant. That's all.
cool.
All right, thanks. That was
Awesome.
my little bit.
That's your pre-2A4E diversity shoot talk.
Yep, warm up.
Warm up. That's it. Okay,
Very
Rob.
good. Hey, the views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual co-hosts and do not reflect the official policy or position of the Firearms Radio Network and/or their employers. Viewer discretion is advised. This is especially true on live shows.
You
Now,
want to
wait
know
till
the
you get to the stuff we're talking about tonight.
yeah the amazing part is Rob reads this and he's gotten pretty good at it because we try to read it and we just screw it up royally.
Yeah, it's you got to read it slowly.
Slowly.
And,
Well,
I've had to get over my dyslexia. Hey, but
yeah.
there's one thing I did on Patriot Patch Company. They had that $25 used patch sale about a month
they're-
ago. They sent me three of the scratch and dent patches were patch of the month patches,
Wow.
and I got them. I'm like,
And-
dang, these patches are brand new. They look great.
Yeah, they have such minor flaws in them that I don't think you could tell unless you like stare
No.
at it for hours. Yeah, Jake really does a good job on those.
I'll tell you what, though, if you're going to go for the first gun we're going to talk about, you might want to get that Space Force morale patch.
Well, yeah.
Well, and you
The
might want
pre-order
to
for
hurry
that.
up because there's only 2 left in stock, and it's
Oh, two. Hell,
Yeah.
there was like 5 when I looked.
nah, there's
Mine
only
says
2.
5 remaining. Oh man,
Oh,
I
mine
better
says
re-
mine says 2 left in stock.
Yeah,
You
it
mean of
doesn't
this
matter.
the gun thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
there's
Okay.
only, I got 2 left right now.
There
Yeah.
is no product review or update this week. We're going to actually try to keep it somewhat short for people like me that are going to TriggerCon and sleeping in and then driving. So we have the product spotlight and discussion. And first up is the Arc Flash EMG 01A with an MSRP of $950 if you want to buy one of the last 2 remaining. And what this thing is they classify it, the EMG stands for electromagnetic gun. It's an 8-stage IGBT switched, low voltage, capacitor augmented, full automatic coil gun. So basically it's a rail gun. And what it does is these 8 stages are controlled by, looks like some sort of, I read it here somewhere, but I'll get to it. A little gate so that it knows when to fire. but it'll fire 4 rounds per second. But the problem is it only fires at 45 meters per second. So if that's like 150 feet per second. So it's going like about as fast as you can throw a rock, or at least a slingshot of rock. It uses 0.25 diameter by 3/4 inch steel projectiles. It says dowel pins, so you can just buy dowel pins. It does have a 9-round magazine, single stack. It says it can only fire up to 6 rounds on full auto. I don't know what happens to the last 3. It ships with a standard 1500 milliamp hour battery. You know, the charger,
I like
of
how you
course.
say standard. Like, it's a
I
standard
know.
battery.
Well, it's standard for them. But of course, they don't ship you a charger. You got to buy that separately.
Right.
And you can supposedly get 100 shots before you need a recharge. That power supply, the battery is the power source. Gitless capacitors, switches, they're optically triggered, so when the round starts, it knows how to magnetically force it out to the next one. I mean, it's got a 10-inch barrel. The bore diameter is 0.25. It doesn't say if it's rifled or anything to that effect. Physical dimensions are 20.5 inches long, 6.8 high, I think, and 3.9 wide, maybe. It weighs 2.5 kilograms, whatever that is, without a battery and unloaded. It's exempt from FCC classification, which means nothing to me. But I put this in here, one, because even though it's slow, it's kind of cool that they were able to do this. It says it's full auto, but because it is not a firearm, because it does not have any powder or anything, an explosion, therefore perfectly legal. But I kind of like the concept. You know, hey, you know, if they got one now, what are they going to have in 10 years from now? Maybe something that's actually useful.
Hold on. Let me
Or
get
fun.
this out there. Let me get this out there before we even start.
Anything else? Phased plasma rifle in the 40-watt range. Hey, just what you see, pal.
Perfect, Tony. Perfect.
I was thinking that earlier because it said it has a 40 something, and I was like, that's the exact thing that came to my head.
See, you know, it doesn't really say. It's a 1.5 kilowatt power
It has
supply.
a 40 amp fuse.
That's what I saw,
Yeah.
40 amp fuse, and
Yeah,
that's what
there
I
you
think
go.
of that.
You know,
so
but
if you
yes,
wanna
that
pay
was appropriate.
$1,000 to shoot a 25 caliber projectile at about a third the speed of a paintball gun. Hey, you know,
Yep.
have at it.
What's the feet per second on this again?
Probably like
150.
130, 135 feet per second.
It's 45 meters per second, it says. So I'm guessing 150 feet per second.
Yeah,
a little less,
somewhere in there.
100,
Close to that.
130 probably.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably.
My whole thing is, and this is just my opinion, obviously. Everybody was shooting bows and arrows. The big kid on the block was shooting a longbow, and he had pretty much 100-yard range. And then these cats rolled out of China with these tubes with holes in them that you would pack black powder and then stick a ball in, and then hold it to your shoulder and stick a lit twig in the hole.
Mhm.
This is that.
This is the first evolution.
Yeah, this is the first evolution of something new.
And the reality, too, is when Chinese first invented gunpowder, they didn't use it for guns. They used it for fireworks, for rockets.
So
Well,
this is
I was going to say that, and that's part of the reason I stuck it in here. I mean, it's kind of all over the web, but I was like, this could be the beginning of something different, like Tony said. I mean,
They have a long way to go before I am
Of course.
remotely interested.
oh yeah,
I mean,
too.
truthfully, you can buy air guns that are more
effective than
powerful.
this.
Yeah, more
Yeah.
effective, more powerful. But again, if you get it on the very first level, I'm talking about dudes who just want a collectible, want something that's different, want something that blows your friend's mind and go, hey, this is not even a gun. But this may be the first step or something, or it may just be a gadget. but it's a pretty cool gadget as far as gun dude stuff goes.
And this is an alpha test, and so you got to sign a contract saying you'll test it for them and all that. So
Right.
I mean, if you're into that kind of stuff, that's cool.
You're really being a part of something brand freaking new.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
You're on the ground floor.
I mean, if you're looking for like something with power, a Daisy Red Ryder is more powerful than this. But
yep.
You know.
But really being on the ground floor of one or two, and it only has to mean something to you. It doesn't have to mean anything to your friends or anyone else. But it is pretty cool for a gun geek perspective. It serves no purpose other than a test bed, and it does look cool. And I'm looking at the guy in one of the pictures on the Firearms blog, and he's straight up probably one of the ground members of the Nuttin' Fancy fan club. Sitting here running his thing with tactical gloves on, and it just looks like wow.
But the only other thing that I thought was kind of hokey was you can tell this whole gun minus the coils and etc. was 3D printed of it. I mean, which I don't have a problem with considering what it is, but even the magazine was 3D printed. And I'm like, yeah, okay, well, now we're talking something that you can go 3D print yourself. And hell, a 3D printer and all the stuff you need for it probably cost you a lot less. But I mean, yeah, they put it all together, but maybe the non-alpha test version will be an actual, non 3D printed something, whatever we want to call it.
My thing is, would I do it? No. I got other stuff I could take my time up with.
If I was straight rolling in money, like Bill Gates style, I'd probably buy one. But
that's
just to have it. But like I would not like $1,000 on this for this.
Well, wait a minute, Zane. Remember, you got to spend $950 on the gun. Then you have to spend another $40 for the charger, and then ammunition. But the good news with the ammunition is you can get a 25 pack for $11.
Yeah, and you could probably go on some, site since they're steel dowel pins and buy them anywhere else for the precision machine. Yeah.
What machine shop? I need you to take a 3/4 inch steel rod and cut it in a quarter inch steel rod and cut into 3/4 inch strips.
Yes.
I'm trying to see what country this company's from.
It's Russia. Don't even bother. It's all Russian. Russian, everything Russian, everywhere.
What he said.
Oh, this isn't their first.
No,
they've got other stuff they've made, man.
Yeah,
I'm just kind of cruising their site.
Yeah, I kind of did that when I put it in the show notes, and I was like,
I think they're based out of Cali.
Then why is everything in the metric system?
Yeah, that's not.
Okay,
science.
here they are. Direct returns are to San Diego, California.
Oh, I just hate them even more now if they're using the metric system and they're from America.
Yeah,
science.
Where might be where their imports go to.
The only good thing about it is that maybe they're trying to overcome all the California gun laws.
I mean, California is already trying to figure out how to ban this.
Probably. So is it? Well, it said something somewhere where you can't ship it to.
Here we go. We cannot ship FEA to the following locations: Delaware, Illinois, Jersey. Damn, Tony, you can't do nothing up there.
New York,
and DC.
Anything that propels a projectile. Oh, we have the state law written, so no matter how far in the future you get, they can screw Jersey residents.
But it has a 9-round magazine. It falls into the 10-round magazine clause.
We can't have air guns here, and slingshots.
It's full auto.
That's right.
Slingshots are illegal in Jersey, so you ain't getting around it for these.
Yeah, and I can put that same, 1/4 by 3/4 thing in a slingshot and launch it just as fast.
Yep, and you'll get the same charge of assault weapon. So there it is.
Yeah, well, now we understand.
Yes. When it comes to this thing, I would say that the 6-round full auto is how much the capacitors can handle on one firing burst. but it'll do
And the-
100 rounds on a charge, which is okay.
And the engineer comes through with his mind again.
Mhm.
I mean, when I first saw this, I said, "Man, this looks like only a gun a dork who got out of a sci-fi convention would buy."
Yeah.
And I started totaling up the prices for everything and said,
Yeah.
damn."
Why not make it? Yep. Okay. Well, even though I put this in there, I think we all said, it could be the start of something. That's pretty much why it's in here.
Well, I'll let you know on Friday when it comes in.
Okay. Hey, whatever works for you. I'm just trying to think of new ammo that'll work better at, can we get like hollow point steel that has,
Well, let's
I would
try to
imagine
get
you're
the
looking at a bunch of capacitors, so I don't think this thing's going to have any kind of rifling to it. So the bullet's not going to spin very long or very far.
Well, but my understanding is you could put some sort of rifling in it because the magnets, the coils are pulling, basically accelerating the steel shaft through something. And they're not going to care if it's accelerating through a rifled barrel or...
I think you'd have better luck using projectiles with like fins, sort of like...
Yeah, I think so too. Because I don't think you'd even be able to get a rifled projectile through these coils.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is you have to design the rifle. The rifling will have to go on the inside of the coils, and that's going to really muck up the electromagnetic properties of it.
No, because
listen, I saw the movie The Eraser, so I know the potential that these things have. The documentary The Eraser,
nice,
and
the documentary The Eraser,
the documentary The Eraser, and I've seen the potential of these things, and I'm definitely like, I want one of those, like from the movie, but I don't want one of these.
I just want the optics from the movie. I want the optics from the movie that allows you to see people through buildings.
Right, that allows you to see through like metal and building material and stuff.
And welcome to the Firearms Insider movie night.
Yeah.
No, that'll actually be tomorrow. I'm recording with Guns of Hollywood.
Yeah,
we're doing Snatch, which was an awesome movie.
Oh, that's such a good movie.
See, like I
actually
said,
own it.
I do too.
But yeah, I look at this. I say one thing though, because I guess you guys. Anyway, it's airsoft. Use a round ball. Use a round ball to send it down the barrel, and it can even have backspin put on it, and you can get some pretty good speed going on with that.
Yeah, but the problem is I think it has to do with the magnetics of when you have something that's an actual length, they can project it through the coils. If it's round, I'm not sure if they have figured that out yet.
Hey man,
remember, because you're dealing with positive, negative. You're doing pull, push, pull, push, pull, push.
Yes.
So that's why you got to have like a dowel, a little rod, a dowel or something.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, this is the same technology that they use to start roller coasters at Universal Studios. Or
there you go.
I mean, it's the same stuff that they're starting to put in naval catapults.
Yep. That's what I was going to say. They're using that in catapults now because it's a lot more efficient than the steam catapults that they use. Mm-hmm. And takes
a lot more efficient, a lot quicker to reload.
I mean, this technology, as time goes on, the technology and the ability shrink. I think it's really cool. It's a really cool first step if you want to get in on it. And I mean, you might be 20 years ahead of the curve. You never know. Or eventually.
Well, remember, too, this is an alpha device, so you're basically being an alpha tester. And a really crappy thing about this is you're buying everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're giving you a discount to test it, but then again, they're not really expecting a whole lot of testing, I'm guessing.
I mean, that's kind of what we do, is we test stuff.
So they should send us one.
They should totally just send us one.
Don't they know how important we think we are?
I get what you're saying. That sounds like an awesome idea.
You guys will have to tell me about it, though.
Yeah, we'll do that, Tony. Now we're into something that actually is kind of quite a bit cooler. What we put in here, I don't know if you've been on the internet any, you've probably noticed this. It's the Bowers Group Biddy suppressor. It has an MSRP of $325. And what this thing is it's a super short 22 suppressor that's also rated for, well, let me just tell you what it's rated for. It's 22 long rifle, 22 mag, 22 Hornet, 22 TCM, 17 HMR, 17 Winchester short magnum, and 5.7 FN. It is also full auto rated. It is user serviceable, and it is only 2.8 inches long, and it weighs 2.6 ounces.
Wow.
Yeah. I think Rob pretty much summed it up.
Cool.
I actually talked to Tom Bowers, who is Bowers, and today because they sent me an email and said, "Hey, you guys are talking about this. Can you give me a call and kind of ask any questions?" So, I called him, talked to him. I'll mention because I live here. They are also an Oregon company. So, I could actually buy this and wait forever directly from him. So, basically,
I can go to Orlando for Spike's Tactical or Popka for Spike's Tactical suppressors.
and the price for this thing is $325, which, if you've looked into 22 suppressors, is not anything out of the ordinary. You can get it with their what do they call that mount? They make an adaptable mount. It's an ATAS mount. It adds $50 to the price, and I think it adds a little bit to the length. When I was talking to Tom, I kind of asked him, I'm like, well, what kind of style baffles they use? He said they use a licensed Omega style baffle. Which, hey, that's they're a decent baffle. He said, of course, it's lightweight. It's hearing safe. He said, he's not big into decibel numbers because they can change from day to day. But he said, like, the OSHA limit is 140, and depending on the days, you can get 130 to 135 on a pistol, a rimfire pistol. On a rifle, he said you can get less. So it is hearing safe. You can take it out. He said sometimes, he said a lot of holsters, if they have an open bottom, like if you're running it on like a Sig Mosquito or something and have a holster with an open bottom, it'll fit in there, and it's not like it's protruding like a regular like 6-inch suppressor or anything. I thought it was pretty cool. He said if I can get with him, I can actually try one out someday and see how I like it, but I don't know when that's going to happen. It didn't happen before the show, of course, but I'll let you guys chime in and see what you guys think.
If I shot 22, I'd definitely buy one of these. Like, I mean, seriously, because that's my main thing with cans. I just want it to be somewhat hearing safe. Like, I don't care how and I understand that is just a vague term, because even at 140 decibels, if you prolonged exposure to it can still cause hearing damage. So, but right. I want it somewhat hearing safe, and I don't want it to add anything to the gun. I don't want it to add weight or length to the gun. That's my big thing with cans, is most of them are so long. I don't own a single 22. I just don't do that. It's not my thing. But if I had like a Mark IV and a Ruger 1022, I would definitely buy one of these. Like, definitely.
Yeah,
I think it's cool.
I forgot to mention the diameter is 1 inch, so it's pretty much your standard, 22 suppressor diameter.
I saw his interview on We Like Shooting, and he talked a little bit about this thing.
Well, the funny part was I saw it too, and it reminded me, because like 2-3 weeks ago, before it was on there, I had seen it, and I'm like, oh, I need to put this in the show notes, and I got distracted and something else I saw. I was like, okay, and then I heard his interview on We Like Shooting, and I was like, oh, I better put this in there now that I remembered again.
I tell you where else this would be cool is on, like if you had a 22 TCM with a threaded barrel, this would be really kind of
Yeah.
Yep. I'll go ahead
got
and put
one.
this out. I'll go ahead and put this out there because I had to give credit where credit's due for the pictures that I posted. I got that from NFA Review Channel on YouTube. I saw this product a month ago. And he was talking about it, and I watched it, and I thought it was freaking cool then because he did it both dry and wet to show you the differences. And also, I saw Tom on the We Like Shooting show, and it's funny. When someone's not blowing smoke up your butt about decibels, it seems less impressive. And he was telling the truth. It's like, the thing can change on a daily basis. That's why those decibel numbers you see, you need to take with a grain of salt because they can give you the numbers from the best day they ever had with that suppressor. You know what I mean? When they shot it, when they did the testing and they're telling you, oh, it's the quietest one in the industry. Yeah, maybe that day, if they're telling the truth.
The other thing with that is how you hear it makes a big difference.
Right, because
one
some
can
lower
might
tones
technically be quieter, but if my ear is more sensitive to a higher tone than a lower tone, it might hurt worse for me than so.
Right.
I mean, if
The
that
only
makes
thing
any
I'll say
sense.
about decibels is you have to have a standard to measure the sound noise reduction. And the decibel is the standard.
It's the
And
only
one thing you got to remember about decibels is it's a logarithmic. So I think it's every 5 decibels, or is it like every 5 decibels doubles the sound, or every two decibels doubles the sound?
Yeah.
It's not
It
like
just goes-
inches or meters. Where
Yeah.
No,
Right.
it goes bingo, and just kind of shoots up when you go from like 140 to 160.
It's
That's why they
compounding.
put it around 140.
right.
Now the thing
And-
is, in measure shoes, everybody measures it. They measure it with the meter about an inch away from the end of the muzzle device.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's not doing you any bit of good. That's not doing any good at your ear. You need to put the sound meters by your ear, especially when you're shooting rifles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You need
because
to put a sound meter by your right ear and by your left ear, because depending on whether you're right or you're left-handed, you'll get more noise, especially on a semi-automatic rifle, the closer you get to the ejection port.
And even the other thing is like Tom and I were talking about actually on the phone, is like if you're indoors, you get all that echo. And
True.
so a can that sounds awesome outside, you take it inside and it might be, oh, this isn't as nice as I thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go with like what Zane was saying. I mean, it's nothing about the biddy, but it is suppressors in general, like the one that I made on a Form 1. If it's spotless, like when I clean it and run it through and get all the carbon off and everything, it has kind of a tinny sound to it. And it's not near as nice as once it gets some carbon on it, when the base, it's a lower base rating.
Mm-hmm.
It just sounds different, even though it's still reducing the same amount of noise. It's just, to me, a lower pitch sounds better than a higher pitched. And to other people, it might be different.
Does your Mac 10 have a threaded barrel?
What?
Your Mac 10 have a threaded barrel on the 22 conversion?
No, I run the 9 can on it. That's the one. And and
I was gonna say you should totally get this for that.
Well, that's the thing, is I have a separate upper, so I can thread the barrel. It's kind of weird because my M11 conversion for 22, they run a barrel insert. So I can take.
I gotcha.
And so you can cut the 9mm barrel, since I have 2 of them. I have a separate upper for each. I can cut it and thread the insert.
I gotcha.
Or just thread the 9mm barrel for half 28.
Well, and they make a lot of conversions to a lot of adapters. This company does.
Yeah, so. Bowers makes their, like I said, their inserts, their ATAS, and then they make one for their larger suppressors that are, they're adapters. Pretty much they make an adapter for anything out there, it seems like. and they make a bunch of different suppressors. I think they make one for like a 458 SOCOM if you want one.
Nice.
They make a lot of different suppressors, and I actually met Tom, heck, probably 20 years ago when he was pretty much just starting, and all he had was his CIC Mac M11 cans, and that's the thing is they're great. I mean, he does good work. He puts the stuff into it. I saw this one like you said 2-3 weeks ago, and I was like, this thing is pretty cool because it's not long. It's like half the length of a regular 22 suppressor. It weighs nothing. It's user serviceable, so you can clean it. It's rated for all these calibers, so you could stick it on a 17 HMR rifle. And
and the 5.7.
Yeah, and the 5.7, which is pretty good pressure for what they are. It's full auto rated, so if you have one of those, you can use it. I can't say anything bad about it without hearing it, and I'm just going by what other people that I trust tell me, and I'm thinking it's got to be a good can, and the price is not. It's a decent price for what you get.
Mm-hmm.
I mean I think
it's 3.25.
Yeah, and his one of his other suppressors, or 375 with the adjustable mounts, the screw-in mounts, is $395 for his other 22 suppressor, one of them. So, it's, and if you look into decent 22 suppressors, yeah, they're $300 to $400. So, price isn't even bad.
I'm looking at this. If I could pull off a move the PA, doing diversity shoots there and introducing people to new guns, having something like this and putting it on a 22 rifle, will take that crack and that smack right out of it, especially if we have, or when we have outdoor events. Now, all of a sudden, it's fun without the intimidation level. We'd already talked about it before, and somebody I'm working with, we're talking about doing a complete suppressor diversity shoot.
Oh, cool.
Well, and the greatest thing about that is it's a lot easier to instruct people when they can hear you and you're not yelling at them because of their ear protection. Yes. And then they think you're yelling at them and really you're just trying to speak loudly. And
and that's the thing is suppressors will cure a lot of new shooters of like their flinch or anything, or from getting it, because they don't get that huge, sound explosion or whatever you want to call it.
Tell you what's really cool though is when you've got a rifle with a suppressor and you're shooting subsonic ammo and all it's yours. When it hits the target.
I
the one thing I noticed is, if you shoot this with a rifle with because I've got a couple 22 cans and a bunch of 22 rifles, and I've got one rifle with the slide fire stock on it for 22s. You can run subsonic through there, and it will cycle it. All yours.
Yeah, I have a bolt gun it's an old Remington
I had one of those rifles. I don't have it.
Target version, and so it's got like a 22-inch barrel now, or it was a 24, but I cut it and made a thread protector and threaded it. Yeah. And being a bolt gun, you run standard velocity or subsonic through that thing, and you literally do not hear it with a can on it, because with that long barrel, I mean, that thing's pretty quiet shooting subsonics without even a suppressor on it, but you put a suppressor on it and it's just so quiet.
Now, the only thing about pistols is I've got the Smith & Wesson M&P 22, and when I run it with a silencer, if I run regular 22 long rifle through it, it's nice, drop dead quiet. But if you run the subsonic through it, it doesn't have enough oomph to cycle the magazine every time, or to cycle the action every time.
Typically, standard velocity ammunition will not go supersonic in a 4-inch.
Not enough time in the barrel.
In the 22, so yeah, it doesn't really matter.
The only thing is with this is, again, it's good that it comes apart. I'd be interested in knowing how it comes apart, because 22 ammo, and Chad, I know everybody who shot 22 knows it is nasty ammo. You got to clean the crap out of it. I can get a couple hundred rounds out of my cans, and then they're going through a bath in the sonic cleaner.
I think it just unscrews. I think the front just unscrews off with those hexes.
The idea I like the most, though, is Silencer Co's got one where you've got the baffles, and around the baffles you put like this aluminum protective cover, then you slide it into the tube.
Right, because then it'll slide out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because when I take mine apart, I have to the one I manufactured on the Form 1, I have to literally beat it apart if I go over 500 rounds with it. Like literally I have a chunk of plastic that I stick in there and beat it so that the baffles come out.
Yeah, this as far as cleaning goes, again, I watched a month ago the NFA review channel. They're like, take it apart. It's friction. The baffles are held together friction wise. They're machined that precisely, but do not put it in a sonic bath because that machine will mess up the titanium and the aluminum that this thing is made of. It'll pit it, and it'll also strip off the finish on the baffles. So
right, the anodizing or whatever they use.
Yeah, the anodizing, it'll strip it all off. So yeah, this is not something you'll put in a sonic cleaner unless you want to bang up your suppressor. I was really impressed by it because of the small size. I have a Henry Frontier, the suppressor edition, just for the suppressor shoot that'll eventually be held in PA. So adding this 2 inches on the end of the barrel won't mess anything up. It won't give it a ridiculous look. And it would just be awesome to introduce new people to firearms with. And it's funny because my whole thing is bringing people into the community. But some of the people that are really blown away by some of the cool stuff are guys that are already in it. They're like, holy crap, this is small. I want to shoot it. It's just that simple. They might not have it. And that I just like the idea of this, and I wished I lived somewhere where I could do it without having to jump through the hoops that I'm probably going to have to in 2019 if I can pull this suppressor shoot off. I've talked to companies. Like, I've actually put work in on this already, so hopefully we can do it.
Sweet. Well, I think we at least had something worthwhile in this episode. So now we'll get to the listener feedback, since I think we're done talking about the biddy. Yep. I mean, I'll try to refrain from making Zane comments, so we'll get to the listener feedback.
Oh, hysterical.
Yeah. Okay, we got this from iTunes. I just typed it in because it was short. It says German pasta and leather fetish, 5 stars by UMO Woodsman. Chad, this show is great. I enjoy listening every week. Tony, keep up the great work with 2A4E. That was pretty much it. And awesome. From the Looney Tunes show, we have Zoe. Tony is my favorite. I'm going to beat him up. And also from the Looney Tunes show, we have Angie. And that's an awesome beard. And she was talking to Zane. So
lot of maintenance goes into keeping the awesomeness.
Yeah. Well, I figured they didn't actually leave feedback, so I figured I'd just throw their comments in here anyway.
Yeah, if you haven't figured it out, Looney Tune Ben's Chad's home.
Chad's house. Yes, exactly. So Tony, tell us all about the Second Is for Everyone diversity shoots if you want.
I'll tell you what happened with the Second Is for Everyone last week. I was wondering why no one was buying tickets. Eventbrite said ticket sales had ended. We'd sold like 4 tickets. I'm like, what the heck's going on? For some reason, it had some kind of glitch that you couldn't buy tickets off of my freaking Eventbrite page.
Well, that
so
sucks.
I had to tear it all down, start all up, create a new event page, which is up, and create a new Eventbrite. So you can actually buy tickets now. But yeah, it really did tick me off because I'm like, what's going on? I've been on, like national level shows, Cheryl Todd's show. I've been on, what's my man's show? I can't even think. Tom
Gresham.
What?
Gresham.
No, I was on Tom Gresham show. I was on
Lock and Load Frady?
Yep, Bill Frady show. And like I had sold any tickets, and I'm like, what the frickin' frack? And that's what it was. So friends of mine put me onto that because I wasn't going on weekly on Eventbrite to see how my tickets were doing because they shoot you emails. Anyway, I have no idea whether it was just a fluke because they never got back to me. They never answered my emails. So I don't know if it was a fluke or an anti-gun thing. I have no clue, but I fixed it. So if you want to buy tickets, you can. They're $20 plus tax. Of course, that money gets split between me and the venue, and hopefully it pays for the food and everything else we do. Second is for everyone, grows the community by inviting people from every background, black, white, regardless, race, gender, sexual orientation, whatever. We invite you down. And my thing is not to confront you and beat you over the head with my political beliefs outside of the Second Amendment is for everyone. That's my whole thing. I don't care what your background is. I don't care what your religious belief is. I think you should be able to have that human right to protect yourself with the most effective and efficient tool there is for self-protection. So that's what we do. We're going to have the next event August 2nd. If you want to help out, you can go to blackbagresources.com and buy some stuff there and type in 2A4E as a coupon code, and Sean will bring it out to us. You can also donate to us on GoFundMe. You can become a Patreon on patreon.com. Or if you live in Jersey, Pennsylvania, you can roll up to our event and see it for yourself. You own a company, you can donate swag. All you have to do is contact me at tony@diversityshoot.com, and we can get your gear and your swag out to people at the event. This is important to me because we have to grow this. We're under attack as Second Amendment people, as gun owners. Every time there's a shooting, they assume we're all in the NRA and we're all somehow behind the shooter. We have to kill that bullcrap. And one way to do it is just bring people in, introduce them to real gun owners like we do, introduce them to Second Amendment groups, and remove that fog of ignorance that the media puts out to the American public about guns and gun owners. So that's what we're trying to do on a grassroots level. Again, thanks for having me on every week to talk about this. I really appreciate it. All you guys that helped me out, ordered the t-shirts and all that other stuff, really, really appreciate it. Thanks a lot for all that you do to make this worthwhile. And if you want to hear Sean and I talk about a lot of different aspects of firearms and the firearms community, you can listen to us on the 2A4E podcast or the Second is for Everyone podcast on your favorite podcast app. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
Now, I think my favorite part of your podcast is the Mad Minute or Mad 10 Minutes or whatever it is, where Tony just goes on some rant about something. But it's kind of funny because, we don't let him rant on this show. So he gets to rant on his.
It's the Mad Minute. And the whole thing was we tried to do it like a minute. But sometimes you have to explain the backstory to why you're so ticked off.
Yeah.
Is it because Tony's mad for just a minute?
No, Tony's mad for a lot longer.
Oh, dude, depends on what we're talking about. We come back in the next segment and Sean goes off. It's hilarious.
Oh, you mean the host?
Yeah. I was listening to your show from last week, and Sean said something that just floored me. I'm busting out laughing at work thinking, oh my God, I'm going to get in trouble.
Sounds about right.
The Second is for Everyone podcast is me and my friend Sean, who you guys know from this show if you listen. But these are phone conversations we have on a daily basis anyway. We just let you in on them and subtract the curse words.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I think only one got through once.
Oh, I don't pay attention. Okay, I guess we'll get into the wrap up now. I guess if you're actually hearing this and are going to be at TriggerCon, look me up, send me an email or something so I can say hi or something if you want. Send questions, comments, positive feedback to gungearreview@gmail.com. Send negative feedback to Tony@diversityshoot.com. Remember to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review. Check out all the other shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv. Be sure to visit the Firearms Insider for reviews and industry coverage. Check us out on Facebook at Facebook/Firearms Insider. Follow us at Firearms Insider on Instagram. And thank you for listening to the largest pound for pound podcast on the network. And we are out.
Bye, Felicia.
Nice.
Short show. Out of here by 10.
Yeah, I kind of wanted it to be that way tonight.
Yeah,
Hey, will you grab me a couple patches?
What?
We give me some Orion's patches.
See what I can find. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Well, Hey, Tony, did you ever hit up Nightstick?
No, but I'm going to tomorrow because now I have the time. I'm hitting up Nightstick, I'm hitting up Vortex, and I'm hitting up Ryan because he told me to send him emails, pick out some stuff I wanted from Grey Ghost Gear. And I'm like, that's all expensive stuff.
Well,
like,
actually, okay. what you should do is you should talk to them or, in your email. Mm-hmm. A lot of times I think they have stuff like backpacks and stuff from like Tactical Tailor that they don't use that fabric color or pattern anymore. So he might be able to send you a bunch of crap like that.
That'll work for me.
I don't know, but yeah, if he doesn't get back to you very soon, I think he might be kind of busy at TriggerCon.
Oh, that's fine. My whole thing is I'll gladly give a bunch of stuff away that a company wants to, like we don't carry it anymore. I'll take it. I'll give it away. But asking for new stuff like that's just out really kind of, I'll ask, but it seems like they're more likely to say no over that,
Yeah. The Nightstick guy kind of sounded like he was game when I
said something about Vortex. Aaron Cowan just released a video today on the Vortex. What is the handgun?
Viper?
Yeah,
Viper.
Yeah.
That thing impressed me. It made it through 1,500 rounds, and every 500 rounds he does like one-handed racking off of a barrel, like 10 of them, and then he drops it from shoulder height on the optic on concrete, and it didn't break till the third go-around.
I think Vortex, when they designed it, is actually tried to make it so it could compete.
Yeah, it's done a lot better than a lot of the optics thing. He loves breaking handgun optics because everyone on the internet's like, oh, it's just as good as an RMR, and I'm like, nah, no, it's not. But you pay a lot of money for an RMR. But I was really impressed with. I might pick one of those up and to play with. Put on a pistol.
For anybody that says, "Oh, go ahead."
Oh, I was gonna say I'm waiting for the Holosun that fits the RMR plate.
Yep.
Yeah.
They have the red one. They actually have the red ones out. Mm-hmm. They said they'd send me one of the green ones when they're coming out
from their elite line. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, and they told me last time I asked them about it, they're like, our distributor or higher ups want us to actually get rid of all the red ones in stock or most of them before they start importing the green ones. And I'm like, hey, as long as I'm on the list, I don't care.
Yeah, I might call them up because my whole thing is pick up one of the freaking, pick up a 40 Smith & Wesson Glock, hit up Grey Ghost, and have Ryan send me one of their uppers.
One of their slides.
Slides, and then get this thing from them. It's introducing people to the product. That's all I want to do.
Well, and the thing is plus in your case, getting somebody to shoot a red dot is so much easier, as you know.
Yep.
Hey, are we still live?
It's not. No. Yes.
No, it says
still live.